a special guest who comes in the studio once in a while to tell us about really good things happening in Detroit. Because contrary to popular belief, even with all the things that have gone on in the city, there are positive things happening in the city of Detroit.
On a daily basis.
On a daily basis. And from lovefordetroit.com, it's Terry Bean. Welcome,
Yay!
Terry!
Hey guys, thanks for having me. I appreciate you.
Thank you. And you did something, I want to say a year ago, very similar to what you're doing this year. It's a little event on March 13th, 313.
Absolutely.
Where we basically get together and we kind of do some networking, right?
It's a little bit of networking. The last 2 years, it's actually been virtual. This is the first year of a real world event, but the whole idea was sharing love for Detroit. In the 70s, we had say nice things about Detroit. Now we got to kick it up a notch. We got to show some love. This city needs a heck of a lot of it. We've got too much fear. We've got too much hate. We got too much anger. We need to drop all of it, and we need to embrace our hearts and really move forward together.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
You got this event coming up on the 13th at the Charles H. Wright Museum for African American History. So what's going to happen? It starts around 11 o'clock in the morning, right?
Yeah.
11:30.
It does. So the way the day's laid out, the ticket price is $31.30, a little 313 love right there.
Nice.
But we've got it set up where people can come in, tour the Charles Wright Museum. It is the largest African American history museum like in the country. 22,000 square feet of cool stuff.
It's a must-see. Everybody should visit that museum.
Put that on your list.
Put it on your list. You want to talk about hidden gems that are in plain sight.
Right, yeah.
There's one. Great rotunda. The auditorium seats about 313 people.
Oh.
How
Really? Did
convenient.
you go in and count the seats?
How convenient.
Did you round up or down?
I might block 7 seats.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. So yeah, 313 seats in there, and then we're going to have 12 different speakers that are going to deliver transformational messages. Shawne Duperon's going to come in and she's going to talk about forgiveness, because there's one thing that we need to do in the city is forgive each other for all of our past discretions, right? We need to take all those bad events and put them in a box and leave them there. We can go visit them every now and again, but we need to leave them there and move forward.
That's a good message for anybody.
It's a great message for everybody.
Right.
It kind of ties back to that earlier call you had about the
love
courtship.
court. Yeah.
Absolutely. I guess it was more than a call, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a whole segment. Rod Hairston from Envision U is going to come in, and he's going to talk about mindset and about identity, and really kind of suggest what Detroit could have as an identity moving forward. And that's, identity is what takes people who win the lottery and turns them poor 2 years later.
Yeah.
They were poor before, they're going to be poor again. So if we change our identity, we can really make some great things happen. Some of my favorite nonprofit leaders, Menachem Nispek of Operation Kid Equip is going to be there. He's going to speak about how he started an organization to service 100 children, and all of a sudden he's serviced over 37,000 in the last year. And when I say service, I mean provided goods, school supplies, hygiene equipment. So
give them what they need so that they can be good people and get out there in the world and help others.
That's exactly right. Giving them the right start, because kids shut down if they don't have the tools to succeed. So super excited about that. John George from Motor City Blight Busters, who's been tearing down Blight.
They do amazing
Absolutely.
stuff.
Love John. So John's going to get up, tell his story. One of his partners, Chaz Miller, who's been doing some really great murals around this area for a long time. He's going to talk about how art can change the fabric of the community. And then we have a handful of other cool people that are doing wonderful things that we need to hear about. And the idea is all these folks decided to make a difference. And they decided to do that, and they decide to do it every single day.
Yeah.
And they're every bit like every one of us.
And they do it here.
Yeah.
And they're staying. That's a great point.
Yeah. And they're
staying.
not going away, and they're staying here, and they're putting in the good fight, and they're choosing to live in Detroit and rebuild it from within.
When when Anthony Bourdain came to town, and he did that show, and Charlie was
he
on.
went to the old Packard plant, right?
Yeah, and I just remember in that show they were talking to, like, there's these little culinary hideouts, and there's all these different things that are going on, and he was talking to a lot of these people about, you could be doing this in New York City, or you could be doing this in Chicago.
Where there's more glamour.
And it's just the spirit of the people here are, but we wouldn't want to. This is the city that we want to be doing this in. and it's just as good as anything in New York City or Chicago or San Francisco.
Yeah,
And,
I mean,
and soon people will know to come here and find us.
and it's funny because maybe it's because of what we do, you and I, for a living. But we run into people a lot like Terry. We run into a lot of them, and it just makes me feel like, wow, I'd tell fart jokes on the air for a living.
I know.
You know,
They're transforming.
Yeah, they're rebuilding
Right.
a city that's kind of falling apart.
Well, you could stop telling fart jokes.
Well,
anytime.
I could, but then again, we need Tuesday.
Yes.
But we also need Love for the D.
Yes.
I want you to go to lovefordetroit.com, look into this, get your tickets, hang out with Terry and all these great inspirational speakers coming up on March 13th. Terry, thanks for coming by today.
Terry.
Thanks so much for having me, guys.
You bet.
Really appreciate you sharing the love.
Thank you, buddy. 9:50.